What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to TTP Sports. The Phillies drop another game in this series against the Atlanta Braves. The offense goes quiet once again, and this is a game where, once again, I cannot, harp on the pitching because the pitching, honestly, still didn't allow that many runs to Atlanta. 4 runs. Ranger Suarez allowed, what, 2, 3? It's enough to win you a ball game. It still is when your offense is still not getting those timely hits and you go hitless basically after a solo shot by Rhys Hoskins in the third inning, you're not going to win a ball game. And when you have early chances with the bases loaded in the bottom of the second inning and Moniak once again in that huge spot strikes out, no surprise there, you're not going to win the ball game. It's easier said than done from that. Ranger Suarez, I thought he had a pretty solid game. Blew up a little bit in the seventh inning, but still allowed minimal runs, and you still put your team in a position to stay within the ball game. I can't really harp on Ranger Suarez because at this point, with the way the offense has been in these past 2 games, it's like the starting pitching has to be perfect. And no one's perfect. Everyone is human. The starting pitchers, they're going to give up runs. The Atlanta Braves are a really good team. They're better than the Phillies. We know this. We know this absolutely. But the way the offense has been in these past 2 games, it's been unacceptable. With the way they're hitting with runners in scoring position, it's not good. I thought they were, early on in the ball game. They could have got the Kyle right. They didn't score with that early runner in scoring position chance with the bases loaded, and that let Kyle Wright settle in basically after allowing the home run to Rhys Hoskins. That's how it happens. And I'm not going to be, sky is falling. Sky is not falling, how most Philadelphia fans are most likely going to react to these 2 losses. It's not how it is. You lost, yes, it's very frustrating. I'm not saying you can't be frustrated because I'm frustrated as well with the way this team has played these first 2 games against Atlanta. I really am. But I'm not going to stress that the sky is falling and that this team is going to huge on a major downward spiral. Who knows? It may happen. I'm not going to stress that to you that it is going to happen because that's not how I roll. I still think there is capability in this team to play without Bryce Harper. And with the way this team is playing in these first 2 games, it's not the fact that they don't have Bryce Harper. Because when they lost Bryce Harper in the San Diego series, if that happened in that instance, that team would have caved. If everything was about losing Bryce Harper, that team would have caved and probably not won the series in San Diego. This is not a Bryce Harper issue. The at-bats today were completely awful, especially going later on in the ballgame. Just basically no effort, no contesting at-bats, no challenging at all. It's just basically 1, 2, 3 innings, 1, 2, 3 innings, maybe the occasional walk here and there, 1, 2, 3 innings, 1, 2, 3 innings. The at-bats, the approaches were not good in this game. And that especially goes into that second inning situation with Moniak out there. It really does. He's not playable. He cannot hit major league pitching. And that's where I'm going to stress it there. But before we get into the rest of this game, everyone, what is going on? If you are looking for the latest Philadelphia sports news, recaps, and events, I definitely recommend you hitting that subscribe button. It is a great or a miserable time depending on the outcome. And, the past couple of games have been miserable. So I recommend you hitting that subscribe button. Also, if you're a current viewer of the channel, I'm grateful for you being here that long and looking to continue that down the road. And if you're looking for tickets to upcoming sporting events, concerts, whatever you can think of, use the code TTPSPORTS down below for $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. Get yourself to basically any upcoming Phillies home game, event, whatever you can think of. It's a great deal. Do not pass it up. Use the code TTPSPORTS, $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek today. So the Phillies drop the second game of the series, and they basically lose the series to the Atlanta Braves by a score of 4-1. Offense was just abysmal in this game, only putting up 4 hits in this ball game. Ranger Suarez, I thought he put this team in a good position to win. I thought he did. He gets charged with 4 earned runs, but the 4 earned runs came when, really 2 more earned runs came when Jose Alvarado was out there on the mound. So overall, actually, the extra earned run came with Jose Alvarado out there. He allowed 3 earned runs when Ranger was on the mound. Alvarado came in to try to finish the 7th inning. He allowed an extra run to score because Jose Alvarado can't locate at the plate because he throws wild pitches and allows runners to advance. So there you go. But overall, still, I thought Ranger Suarez was still very solid in this game overall to put this team in a position to win this ball game. He goes 6 2/3 innings, 6 hits allowed, 4 earned runs, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts, and a home run allowed to Adam Duvall in the 7th inning. Was a full count with 2 outs. Yeah, really is. I still thought he was solid, though. Bullpen came in. I'm surprised Familia had a solid 8th inning. I'm honestly very surprised. He had a 1-2-3 8th. I was very, very shocked that that happened because honestly, when Familia comes in when you're losing, you're basically just asking for the rest of the game to be blown wide open. I was really surprised that Familia managed to have an actual clean inning there on 10 pitches only. And then you get the great story from Mark Appel. Coming in the 9th inning, he allows 1 hit, but he gets his first major league strikeout and has a very solid inning overall, only needs 10 pitches. Just a fantastic story overall with the entire timeline of Mark Appel. And actually, I do want to bring up the timeline for Mark Appel, just, basically just go over what everything right here. So if I bring up, because I remember seeing it on Twitter, just basically overall. So if I see the entire timeline right here for Mark Appel, so let me see. I know I saw it on Twitter. I probably should have had this up earlier, but yeah, what are you going to do at this point? So if I go to his basic, I remember, I think it was the Farsi show that I saw the post from that brought up the entire thing about Mark Appel. I'm trying to make sure I see it right here because I do remember seeing it earlier on in the game. If I can't find it, I'm not going to go overboard and look for this entire thing because the story overall from Mark Appel is a really good one. From being the first overall pick, like in the early 2010s, from basically going throughout the entire minor leagues, moving throughout different teams in Major League Baseball, ending up with the Phillies, basically being in minor league baseball, going through injuries, and then basically in 2018 he retired from baseball, and then he made a comeback, and then he worked up in the Phillies minor league system, and he had a very solid AAA stint this year in AAA with Lehigh Valley, and he earned himself a call up. Granted, it was because, Connor Brockton was on the COVID IL, but still, he earned himself a call up by being really solid down there in AAA. And he had himself a very solid outing. Basically, nothing more you can ask from Mark Appel in that situation. A very solid inning and a very solid debut. I like the standing ovation that the crowd at the Citizens Bank Park gave him today for his outing. It was very, very good. So happy for him. Happy to see that go down there. But just overall, the offense was just killer. It really was. Just killer once again. You didn't have as many chances with runners in scoring position in this game than you had yesterday. You still go over 3 and you leave 6 runners on base. Like I said, basically, they had 4 hits in this ball game. I think their last hit in this game was the home run by Rhys Hoskins, and that was in the 3rd inning. That can't happen. That can't happen at all. It just can't. Because if you look throughout this entire ball game, okay, Ranger Suarez, he allowed a 2-out rally in the 1st inning. Olsing with a double, then Riley walks, but he manages to get out of that with a strikeout. Go bottom 2. You also get Derek Hall making his major league debut as well in the cleanup spots. Very surprisingly, he was the DH today. Nick Castellanos played right field. Derek Hall had a couple of good rips, got robbed a little bit of second base. So he did have a chance with runners in scoring position in this game as well. Didn't come up clutch either. But still, you go into that bottom of the 2nd inning. JT walks. Alec Bohm reaches it on an infield single. Bryson Stott walks on 4 pitches. So this is where I brought up earlier where the approaches today were not good. And it started with this Mickey Moniak at bat. Mickey Moniak, basically after watching that 2-out at bat by Bryson Stott, Kyle Wright threw 4 straight balls that were nowhere close to the strike zone during that entire at bat. What does Mickey Moniak do in the first pitch he sees? It's a pitch, yay inside, right at his torso. He swings and fouls it. So you look at the previous at bat, Mickey Moniak. You see the pitcher out there, he throws 4 straight balls to walk a guy. Why is your first instinct to swing at the first pitch? Let him throw a pitch because it's obvious he can't find the strike zone in the last couple of batters. It's obvious. You can't throw strikes right there. You gave him a strike. You gave him an opportunity to be within that at bat. Why are you allowing him to feel better about himself? Because Mickey Moniak, basically swinging at everything possible. He did take the second pitch for a ball, but then fouls off the 3rd pitch, and then he strikes out on a changeup. It was mixed location by Kyle Wright, but still, it was a pitch that was basically right on the bottom corner of the strike zone, and he strikes out looking with the bases loaded, 2 outs. So another chance that Mickey Moniak had with runners in scoring position in the past couple of days, and he does not come up with a hit. That's a huge problem. And Mickey Moniak, besides everything else with this Phillies lineup right now, he's a huge problem. Mickey Moniak cannot be playing because this guy can't hit. He had an opportunity yesterday where he probably should have been pinch hit for Matt Vierling. Didn't happen against the lefty. He struck out in that situation, or he popped up actually. Still basically same difference, strikeout, pop up, which is worse. At that point, he still got out. But Matt Vierling should have pinched it yesterday, but it didn't happen. He has another chance with bases loaded today, and he strikes out. Mickey Moniak, he's one of those guys where his numbers in minors are really good. They're too good to be playing in the minors. But when he comes up to the major leagues, he cannot hit major league pitching. It's just a complete night and day. You know, I started to believe when I saw in spring training with the way he was hitting, because the way he was hitting in spring training was just like, whoa, where did this come from? All the home runs, all the hits. It was different. Yeah, he got hit. Got injured. Maybe that affected something. But he still hit. When he got sent down to the minors, he started hitting fine. When he came up to the majors, it's just, even in his stint last year, looks completely outmatched. Looks completely overpowered. Just can't hit major league pitching. Mickey Moniak honestly can't play. He just can't. Just can't whatsoever. Ugh. Oh boy, Mickey Moniak is just... Yeesh. But honestly, I feel like we probably won't be focusing too much on Mickey Moniak if it wasn't for, with the way Nick Castellanos has been this entire year, with the way he's struggling to hit with runners in scoring position, with the way he's struggling to hit in general. If I just go to Nick Castellanos right now for the season, he is batting, he went another 0 for today. So that's 2 straight games of 0 for 4 baseball, 1 strikeout. He's batting 245. Honestly, it feels lower than that with the way he's been. I know he had that very hot start to the year in April where he was batting above 300. But since May, it's been on a downward spiral. It's almost June. Well, not June. It is June. What am I saying? It's almost July. He hasn't hit a home run this month. Nick Castellanos has not hit a home run the entire month of June. His last home run, I believe, came in that series at the end of May against the San Francisco Giants. Was that Memorial Day? I feel like that was Memorial Day. I think it was Memorial Day. Was his last home run of the camp. He has 7 home runs this year. His 7th was against the Giants on Memorial Day, I believe. When is it going to end? Because we're way past, discussing this as a slump from Nick Castellanos. And I still believe there is something in that bat because he has had way too much success in this league to be this flat. It really is. It's getting old right now, Nick. Find your stroke. Find your hit because you've had way too much success in this league to be this bad. Nick Castellanos, you're not a bad baseball player. You're playing bad baseball right now, though. You're not a bad player. You're playing bad baseball with the way he swings and misses on pitches that are yay outside the zone. Just looks ugly. Looks completely ugly. And there's a stat right here from Corey Seidman that says Nick Castellanos has hit 220 this year with runners in scoring. No, actually 220 with runners in scoring position in the last 55 games. This was talking about last night. Then he referenced that into tonight. So last night was another night where the game could have changed with one swing in those situations. Came up with 2 on, nobody out in each of his first 2 at-bats. Remember yesterday, one of those bats where he lined out, Duvall made that great catch, but he also had an at-bat in the bottom of the first inning as well, or I believe he grounded out or something like that, or he struck out. So that's one situation. And then Corey Seidman follows up that tweet tonight after this game saying, these are just momentum killing at bats. Hard to do when searching for offense, but you wonder if dropping him down in the order for a few games would do anything. Maybe could the entire team's troubles with runners in scoring position, like, would we be looking at Mickey Moniak so hard if Nick Castellanos was hitting? If he was hitting with runners in scoring position? I feel like some people would, but I feel like we would mention it, but not to this nth degree with the way Nick Castellanos has been, basically been bad this entire year. I wouldn't say the entire year. He had a good month of April, but the last couple of months have been really bad. He needs to find it. I don't know how he does it. I don't know if it's moving him down in the lineup. I don't know if it's Rob Thompson giving him a couple of days off, because I do believe he needs a day off just to get his mind off of something. Because right now his mind is not in the right place. It just is not. It is not whatsoever. It needs to change. It needs to change drastically. And to go to the bottom of the third inning, Rhys Hoskins, solo shot, goes off the foul pole, becomes a 1-0 Phillies lead. But if I'm just looking at this entire, first couple of innings for the Phillies, Alec Boehm gets the infield single in the second. That's your first hit of the ball game. Bottom of the third, Rhys Hoskins gets a home run. Top of the fourth inning, the Braves respond. They make it 2-1. Matt Olson doubles, leadoff double there. He gets moved over the third on the ground out. Then Ozuna walks, and then Contreras singles, which scores Olson, makes it a 1-1 game. And then Adam Duvall hustles out a double play chance and makes it a 2-1 game. Originally, it was called a double play, but the replay was obvious he was safe, so 2-1 ball game. Didi gets a hit in the fourth inning, and then basically from there, 1-2-3, 1-2-3, 1-2-3, a walk here and there. Go to the top of the seventh inning. Ranger Suarez comes back out there, gets the first two guys out, gets Duvall into a full count. And honestly, I would say it's a good pitch by Ranger. It was a better hit by Duvall. Crushes it past the left field foul pole, home run, 3-1 ball game there. Then Gosselin singles with 2 outs. In comes Jose Alvarado. Wild pitch allows Gosselin to steal second base. And then Harris singles, scores Gosselin, makes it 4-1. And that's basically your ball game there. Seventh inning, 2-out walk by Stott means nothing. Hoskins had a double in the bottom of the eighth. Nothing happened there. Top of the ninth, Appel comes out for that inning. He did really good. In the ninth inning, Phillies go down 1-2-3. Because basically right now the offense has been basically, oh boy. Kyle Schwarber can only do so much. I think today was his first game where he went without getting on base in a while. I think it was like a stretch of 31 games, I believe, that he had getting on base. This is his first game where he hasn't gotten on base. I know there's been talks about maybe moving Kyle Schwarber down into the 3 spot where Harper was batting. I'd consider it. But then you also got to figure out who the hell is going to bat leadoff, who would bat 2. I know you want to try to find, like, I really do feel like you need to find that separation in the lineup, because when you go 2, 3, 4, Rhys, JT, or Rhys, Castellanos, JT, I don't like batting 3 righties in a row. Maybe put Schwarber in there. Maybe break something up. Didi, his average is dropping. I know he got a hit in today's ball game, but he had the triple yesterday. But still, the power is a big issue with Didi. Do you move Didi? Do you move Bohm up in the lineup? Maybe do you bat him 2-hole? Do you bat him leadoff or something? Like, you need to figure out something with the leadoff position now. How many games is Derek Hall going to be playing? I know he was just caught up because Yohan Camargo's on the IL. There's a lot of question marks. There is. And just looking at the lineup, Schwarber 0-for-4. Rhys Hoskins had 2 of the 4 hits today. He went 2-for-4 with an RBI with a solo shot. Nick Castellanos 0-for-4. Derek Hall 0-for-4. JT 0-for-3 with a walk. Didi with 1-for-4. Alec Boehm 1-for-4. Bryce and Stott 0-for-1 with 2 walks. Mickey Moniak 0-for-3 with 2 strikeouts. Just not good. Not good at all. And I'm still not going to stress the sky is falling. I know that. It's just a frustrating time. And that's what 162 games are, right? You're going to have your ups, you're going to have your downs. You're playing a series against the team you were chasing in the wild card right now, and obviously this team is better than you, and not denying that whatsoever. The Braves are a completely better team than the Philadelphia Phillies. I still don't believe this is they're missing Bryce Harper type of thing. This is just because I still believe if, instantly reacting to the Bryce Harper injury in that series against San Diego, If the Phillies were, going ho home, we lost Bryce Harper, they would have lost that series. They probably would have lost those last 2 games. I saw that Phillies team respond directly after Bryce Harper getting injured, winning that game he got injured, and then winning a game when they were down 5-2 against San Diego on Sunday. So there's ability in this lineup. There is. We've seen it. We saw Nick Castellanos get 4 hits. Kyle Schwarber is still Kyle Schwarber. He's still going to mash home runs. Right now, the offense needs to figure themselves out. They do. Our starters have been solid. Would have wished Zack Wheeler didn't set the tone yesterday with the back-to-back solo shots in the first inning. But I'm not going to rip him apart when the offense really didn't give him anything, when he still put them in a position to succeed, only allowing a few runs. The bullpen still has been pretty solid. It's your offense right now. And granted, yes, you're going into a huge couple of series against teams that you are chasing in the wild card. The Braves this series, and you're going to have the Cardinals. You're going to be facing them 7 times in a week and a half span. Your offense has got to find a way to get it going. It just can't be Kyle Schwarber. Looking at JT and looking at Nick, especially Castellanos. Rhys, he had the home run today. I know he's been hot over the past week and a half to 2 weeks. Need more from Rhys, though. Need more from Nitty. I need more from everyone. Right now, it's been Kyle Schwarber. That's basically it. I know JT found that power stroke a little bit in San Diego. I'm not going to deny that. I need to find that consistently. You just need to. Because if you're looking at tomorrow's game, you're going to have Aaron Nola on the bump to try to salvage this series. Aaron Nola going up against Ian Anderson, I believe. I do believe it is Ian Anderson for the Braves on the mound tomorrow night at 6:05. Yes, Aaron Nola going up against Ian Anderson. And looking at Anderson's stats, he is 6-4, a 4.60 ERA with a 1.54 WHIP in his last couple of games. Went 4 innings and a loss against the Dodgers, struck out 6, allowed 4 earned runs. Against the Chicago Cubs on June 19th, he went 6 2/3 innings, no earned runs, 6 strikeouts. Against the Nationals on the 13th of June, 4 innings, 3 strikeouts, 4 earned runs. So he's sustainable, or he's susceptible to allowing runs. He hasn't been sharp this year, Ian Anderson. Frankly, the Brave starters, if you look at their numbers coming into this series, they haven't been sharp. A lot of guys with ERAs above 4. And the Phillies offense haven't been doing anything to them. Like I said, your offense needs to find a way. Just can't be Schwarber. Can't be Schwarber all the time. Because there are going to be games where Schwarber does go hitless, where he doesn't hit a home run, where he doesn't get on base, like he did today. Rhys Hoskins hit the home run, but besides that, nothing else. Either Nick Castellanos needs to be moved down in the lineup, or he needs the day off. He needs a complete day off. I know there were ties. I remember seeing it on Twitter this morning, I believe, from MLB Network, that they were, don't question out the Phillies if they try to go trade for another outfielder, and they brought up specifically Andrew Benintendi from the Kansas City Royals. Got a year left on his contract, batting over 300 this year with Kansas City. Like I said, the 1 year left of the contract. He has connections with Dave Dombrowski, being back with the Boston Red Sox when they won the World Series in 2018. Benintendi was a huge part of that roster. So they said, don't take that out of the question. But right now, am I pushing for Dave Dombrowski to make a move immediately? No. Still only, I know it's the end of June, basically, going to July to the All-Star break. But this is really the month where I'm sure Dave Dombrowski is making calls, because you are getting closer to the trade deadline once you get towards the All-Star break. Because once July rolls around, you only got like a week and a half to 2 weeks until the All-Star break. And then basically after the All-Star break, you basically have 2.5 weeks until the trade deadline, because I believe the trade deadline is at the beginning of August this year. So this is the month where guys are going to start making calls. I'm sure Dave Dombrowski is going to be doing his due diligence. I'm sure he's going to be shopping around there. I know the Phillies are going to be buyers, most likely. They're probably going to get some depth for the bench or outfield. Maybe they do after a guy like a Benintendi. Who knows? They got to find a way to bolster the leadoff spot, though. But I think right now Kyle Schwarber has that locked up, unless you do move him down in the lineup to where Bryce Harper bats in the 3 hole. just so he has more opportunities with runners on base. Bolster the bullpen, possibly. Bolster the bench. Maybe you get another starting pitcher because the whole question mark right now with Zack Eflin and his knee injury. Because you do have Bailey Falter starting on Friday. It's a lot of question marks. There definitely are. Not denying it. Definitely not. But still, I just like looking at Mickey Moniak. Just unplayable. Completely unplayable. I feel like Mickey Moniak probably won't be playing tomorrow. Maybe you do see a Matt Vierling in there. But who knows? Rob Thompson is a huge, believer of just giving the guy, trying to give guys confidence, trying to keep playing them in there. I do like that about Rob Thompson too. Yeah. He's been doing it with Bryce and Stott. But the thing about Bryce and Stott is he's shown you glimpses that he can hit major league pitching. He's gone on a hot streak in the beginning of June. Hasn't done that since, but he's shown you a glimpse of what he can possibly do. It's a difference from what Mickey Moniak has done. Mickey Moniak, in every stint that he's had, looks completely overmatched. Can't hit a baseball. Pops it up or strikes out. Swings at every pitch. Pressing way too hard. So, that's a reason. Or a complete difference, rather. Gotta find a way. Got to find a way with this Phillies team. You definitely do. You definitely do. And just keep looking forward to the rest of the series as well. To the Cardinals series, you're going to have a couple of their guys on the mound too. A couple of their top guys, I believe. Michaelis, Wainwright, Hudson on the mound. Going to have Bailey Falter starting on Friday, a 6:05 game. Then Saturday, going to have Kyle Gibson going up against Wainwright. And then Sunday, which is going to be an ESPN game, you're going to have Zach Wheeler on the bump going up against Hudson. So you're going to have a primetime game on Sunday. And then you're going to have a day off on Monday. Then you'll get a little bit of a break with the schedule with the Washington Nationals coming to town. Find a way to take advantage of that series. You won 4 out of 5 in Washington. Take 2 out of, or try to sweep them at home. Please. But then right after Washington, you go right on the road and play the Cardinals again 4 games in a row. And I'm basically looking at the rest of the schedule until the All-Star break. Because with the way ESPN does it, they do like a first half, second half. So the first half goes right up until the All-Star break. So you get this 4-game series with St. Louis, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Get a 2-game series in Toronto. And then your final series before the All-Star break is in Miami against the Marlins. Joy. Absolute joy. Just got to find a way with the offense. Definitely do. Definitely do. I see some guys in the chat right here. Channel name says Braves are a scary team. We look like fools against them. Yeah, the Braves are better team than the Phillies. I don't think the Phillies are a bad team with the way some Philly fans overreact. I don't think the Phillies are a bad team. I don't. I still have belief in them. Just gotta figure it out. Jameson says Kyle Wright was so right tonight. Chop on. Mickey Moniak being the MVP for the series from the Braves fan point of view. No doubt about that. Scott says 4 lousy stinking hits, only 3 at-bats with runners in scoring position. Holy crap, maybe the Phillies should get Rick Wise to throw no-hitter and hit 2 home runs. Braves keep on chopping. Yeah, they say that it was a great moment to see Mark Appel make his major league debut, especially the struggles he brought through to make it to the show. Yeah, it was a great moment to see from what he did in the 9th inning. It was. Scott says our starters must be thinking, why Citizens Bank Park is not a friendly park to hit for the Phillies. Our starting pitchers have to be so frustrated. Mr. 89 says Suarez and Wheeler. I feel bad for y'all. Schwarber too. Seth says Phillies will literally never be good again. Playing these AAA players, hoping to beat the defending champs. This is what happens when you have no farm system whatsoever and your key guys get hurt. Scott says if they would drop Kyle down in the order, I see no one as the leadoff hitter unless Hoskins because he gets walks. Because of the walks he gets. Really the only guy I can see possibly being a leadoff hitter, Alec Boehm. Because right now he kind of is singles McGee. And he does get singles. He's been on a little bit of a hitting streak lately. I think his average is getting up a little bit there. From what the slump that he's been on in the past, couple of weeks. But look at Boehm's stats. His average is back up to 263. It was in the believe in the high 240s a couple of weeks ago. So his hitting streak is a little bit up there. So maybe you put Bohm there. And that it still is a question mark with the leadoff spot, especially that you don't have Segura and Harper. Seth says, I don't get how people still don't think the sky is falling. The sky has fallen. It's over. You can't go 200 against your division and expect to compete for a playoff spot. That's the way you want to think, Seth. Go ahead. Not going to deny you. Not going to deny you at all. I'm just not going to stress that the sky is falling. Because there are players on this team that are way better than what they're showing. Specifically Nick Castellanos and JT Realmuto. Because if Nick Castellanos was actually hitting runners in scoring position, and he was actually playing to what we know he can be, maybe you wouldn't be talking about this issue. Probably not. So, anything on Twitter from anything basically on that standpoint? I don't think so. And there's really nothing here from the Twitter perspective from this Phillies game. Phillies already lost the Braves. Talk about Mark Appel. Really nothing changed here. And there's something here. Here's a stat with John Clark right here. Phillies with Bryce Harper this year in their games, they are 34-29. They have 5 runs per game. And the Phillies without Bryce Harper this year, they are 5-8 with 3 runs a game. Stat to, I guess, take no word of for the time being until things maybe not change. I'm just not going to be that guy that stresses the sky is falling. That's just not how I roll. It isn't. I just can't look at a schedule with 3 months left in the schedule and think that the sky is falling, because you lose 60 games and you win 60 games. It's what you do with the rest that matters. Every team loses 60. Every team wins 60. I would say most teams win 60. There are some teams that don't win 60 because that's how abysmal they are. Teams like the Baltimore Orioles, the Astros of years past before they became into a juggernaut. I'm trying to think of other teams that would not barely win 60 games. And the Phillies used to do that in this decade. What else? The Royals. There are teams that do that. Definitely are. That's like the bottom of the barrel teams. So, like I said, I do still have belief. I'm not going to be like that typical Philadelphia fan that completely, sky's fallen. It's not. It is not fallen. You do go on stretches where you lose games to a team that you're chasing the wild card. Right now, got to find a way to get over it. Because this Phillies team, even though the Padres had an injured Manny Machado and Fernando Tatis, Padres are still a good team. They were still winning without those guys. The Phillies won that series. Scott says, when you have good starting pitching like we have, the sky is not falling. Yeah, there are good things about this team. Like I said, if Nick Castellanos can find a way to break out whatever type of thing that he is in, if JT can find a way to find some consistency, and Kyle Schwarber still does what Kyle Schwarber does in the month of June and stretches that into July and August, September, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. If the bullpen just can be consistent, because all bullpens have stretches where they're really good and stretches where they're not good. Got to find an even ground. The Phillies right now, I think what I saw from their last bullpen rankings, I think they're like a middle of the bunch bullpen, maybe like below 15th or something like that. I think they're like in the 20th to 15th range of average for the bullpen this year in ranks. So they got a middle to below middle of the bunch bullpen. They've been on a really good stretch late. Sure, Dave Dombrowski's going to find a way to bolster the bullpen in the trade deadline. I'm sure he might go out and find another cheap starting pitcher, like what he did with Kyle Gibson last year. Because I know there's a lot of question marks with the Zack Eflin situation. Because rolling out Bailey Falls for the rest of the year, not too high on that. Definitely not. Just gotta see what happens. Sky is definitely not falling. It's no room to panic at all. Definitely not. Definitely no room. Not saying it's going to be amazing, but I'm not going to stress the sky is falling either. Not how I work. Not how I work at all. So, I think that's where I'm going to call it, everyone. I do appreciate everyone here that joins the chat as Always, if you are late to the stream or tune into it when it's not live at all, do not forget to leave a comment in the comment section down below. I like to see those as always. Do not forget to drop a like on the video. Do not forget to check out everything in the description below, the painted lines, BrodesMedia, everything like that. Everything is down there. I recommend it. I also recommend hitting that subscribe button and also using the code TTPSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase at SEATGEEK. And I will see you next time.